Dobra.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go!
We're fine now. So,
Hello.
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 I don't think we have a name for... We don't have a name, do we?
Yet.
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 It's gonna come eventually.
Yeah, I think it will be just like the spark, an idea, and we'll feel
Yeah.
just right, like kid's name.
Absolutely.
I mean, some people when they like give birth don't even
That's so
have
weird.
a name yet
Yeah,
for their child.
that's so crazy to me. Just before we move on to the topic, that's so crazy to me because if you have a child and you just give it a name just like in a second, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the name they're gonna be stuck with.
Yeah.
At least until they turn like 18 and they can change it.
Yeah.
If it's ugly, it's ugly.
Yeah, and then like parents, most of the time, I think if you actually want to legally change your name, your parents are truly like offended by it.
And I don't get why. Like, it's just a name.
Yeah, it's
It's not like I don't love you, I just hate my name.
Yeah, and some parents like they even like put the wrong name in the official papers.
Yeah,
Like it happened a lot. Like I know 40 years ago.
that's true. But although
Because
40 years ago, they also put like the wrong birth date.
yeah,
It's
and birth time.
it's all super weird.
How are you supposed to like check your birth chart if you don't know your actual birth time?
Birth chart's a thing back then. I mean, for sure,
Yeah, maybe.
astrology was, but like
Yeah.
the full-on birth charts.
Yeah, I think so. Because like I know in Poland, like Slavic witches, I think it's
Dude,
a thing,
can you
like a
imagine-
tradition.
People like during World War II just checking their birth charts. That's so crazy.
But like, how
That's-
did they actually check their birth chart? Because now like you have a website
yeah.
and you just check it.
You just
how
have to,
how
like-
did you do it like back
Did
then?
someone just write a whole
I feel so
book and-
privileged right now.
Yeah, internet makes everything so easy, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
We love internet.
True. And my mom always says like, "Oh, you rely on the internet too much. You wouldn't know what to do without it." Like, yeah, that's the whole point. That's why it was created.
That's why we have it.
Exactly. Like going to the library to get like an encyclopedia to check some shit. Come on.
I would love to be a librarian. I would love it.
My grandma was a librarian. That sounds like a cool job if it paid a little bit more.
Yeah, true. And also, like, my parents told me that it's actually a lot of work and a lot of studies to even be, like, officially, professionally a librarian.
But like if
It's
you
like
had
Actually study at the
Yeah.
university for, like, 3 or 4
Gross,
years.
literally. But like
And
if
you,
had
like,
your-
have to know the specific programs that they use at libraries. It's so weird. I have never imagined it would look like that.
But if you had like your own little bookstore, like the kind of, you know, friendly neighborhood bookstore or whatever.
With a
And it's
cafe,
just,
oh my
yes,
god,
and
that's
it's
like a
just
dream.
so little. And you just have, it's just stacked with books and like all the books you found in some, you know, other shops, and you just sell them and you make coffee for people. God, that sounds so
Yeah,
cute.
I remember when I
I
was a
love it.
kid. I think I told you that before. But when I was a kid and when I watched Ratatouille, it was a groundbreaking movie for me. I
Ratatouille.
watched Ratatouille and I like had this idea, this clear image in my head, like having this small cafe, like in the suburbs of Paris, and with like a small flat maybe over that cafe, and having that cafe and being an owner, and like it would be full of books and people could read there and stuff like that. That was my like core memory after watching Ratatouille when I was like 4 or 5.
I would literally love to have something like that. Oh, just go there.
Yeah.
My biggest dream is like when I go to university to just sit in a cafe with like my computer and my little books, drinking tea and looking all mysterious and
Romanticizing
smart.
studying.
Romanticizing everything in your life because everything is boring if you don't.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Because sometimes I'm like, I talked about it with my therapist, and I was like, sometimes I'm like, you know, if I don't become the best neurosurgeon in the world, or like, I don't know, rich, powerful, then I'm lost. But sometimes I'm like, literally, just give me a cafe and I'm
Yeah.
gonna be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Like, some people want to escape and live in the woods or like in the mountains, and I just want a small cafe.
True.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
Exactly. Living in the woods.
I mean,
would be
I don't
fun if
even
for the
have to
animals.
own it. I can just work there. That would be fine. But like, yeah, Ratatouille. That's why I want to live in France.
The way
because
this
of
movie
Ratatouille.
radiates comfort.
Yeah.
I love Ratatouille. Although the musical it's really happening.
There's a
Can you believe
musical?
it?
There's a musical.
You didn't know? The
I mean,
TikTok
I
musical?
thought that was like a TikTok joke.
Yeah, and then
But-
it got created. It's on Broadway, literally. Wait,
It's on Broadway.
I'm
Why would it be
I'm
on
literally-
Broadway?
literally not kidding you. It
But
is
like
on
some-
Broadway. It is on Broadway.
Who made it?
I can't find
some
it, but, like-
TikTok kids.
It started with the song like Remy the Ratatouille, and then people started writing more and more songs. And I swear to God, I saw one on like Twitter that it was on the sign, and they know Broadway.
TikTok has so much power. It's scary. Why do they have so much power?
Imagine your breakout role being a fucking rat.
That's so me though. That's something that would happen to me.
I can imagine you just having your, you know, the biggest break of your
Broadway
career, and
debut.
you just.
Broadway
Remy,
debut.
the Ratatouille.
Remy, the Ratatouille rats.
But how would they film it? Like, how would it work though, with the whole thing with Remy being under the hat? Like, how?
Oh my god, true.
How?
But also,
logistically-
how
also
do they?
rats and people.
Yeah, how do they portray like rats?
Yeah, and the scale, because
Do they?
I feel like it was also
There's
pretty
so
important.
many things wrong with it.
Because I feel like in Ratatouille it was pretty important that they were rats. You couldn't just make them people and it would be okay. It was important that they were
But
rats.
like, imagine like actually having a human being on your head.
That's fucking scary.
Just like actually on Broadway, just singing their hearts out, and just sitting on someone's back like through the whole musical.
Or like if they did like, you know, for the scenes with Remy, let's say they would just bring out this giant cutout head and a man would just sit on top of it. That would be so funny. I would.
Maybe it has a potential.
Yeah, but it's a
Maybe it has
logistical
one.
nightmare. I feel so
Yeah.
bad for everybody who has to like
Yeah,
organize
like
it.
producers. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm
It
so
sounds
sorry.
it sounds like a nightmare.
It does. Imagine like doing that at the drama camp.
In Ognisko, you're just doing Ratatouille as your sztuka. Oh my god. That's
That's a missed chance. That's a missed chance. We should have done that.
We should have.
We should have done
we
that.
should have
Like that would be the biggest fuck you. I love that. I love
just
that
our
idea.
last play ever in Ognisko, and we're like, yeah, we're prepared.
Remy the
My-
Ratatouille.
My last warsztat, I prepared Remy the Ratatouille the musical, and it's just you as the only
Mama
actor,
Marzenia, but make it Ratatouille.
and you're the only actor there,
Yeah,
and you're playing all the characters,
yeah.
but always in the rat costume.
Yeah.
You're just you
Oh my
have
god,
like a
do
fake,
you know that
you know.
like in Victorious there is Tori Vega's sister.
Yeah, Trina.
Yeah, Trina, and she had that one woman show.
Chicago.
Yeah, I think that, but make it Ratatouille.
Absolutely. I loved Trina Vega. A true icon, a true
Yeah,
star.
she's like the staple female powerful character. She just didn't care. And I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful because Tori was so boring and
She's
annoying.
the worst character.
And she had like absolutely no character at all. And I think that's actually kind of a problem with like 2010 movies and like TV series and like how they did portray women was very much not okay. And they were
Yeah.
like kind of, even if they were like a main character, they were still very boring and annoying. And I think that Trina broke that character. I think.
Because I feel like it's very apparent in Victorious actually.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to make Tori like the best, you know, main character, whatever,
Yeah.
and all the other girls, they're trying to make them kind of bad in some way. Like Trina is supposed to be just so unlikable.
Yeah.
Kat is supposed to be so dumb, and Jade is supposed to be just so mean and awful
Yeah.
that you're like, oh, I hate them all and I love Tori. But it's completely the opposite because at least they're interesting.
Yeah.
And of course they're like over exaggerated, but
It's like The Sims 4.
that's TV.
Like, they actually have characters.
The 3 of them are Sims 3, and Tori Vega is
Okay,
Sims
Sims
4,
4.
and that's the T.
Yeah.
And she's so... I hated her so much, and
Yeah.
I mean, she's a good singer and all, but the fact that she like sang one song and the director of the school was like, yes, it's you. It was like, no, it wouldn't happen.
But we talked before about like the Hunger Games or the
Yeah.
Divergence. It's the same problem, I think, with like female main characters. They're just not. They ain't it.
They're usually so badly written because
yeah.
I hate when they write like a female character and they try to make it like empowerment, because it
Yeah.
always just comes off as, look at me, I'm a female and I do this shit, but I'm a female. Also, in
I'm
the
not
movies-
like the other girls
Yes,
trope.
exactly.
I'm not like the other girls trope.
Also what
So
they do
that-
in movies with like, you know, just the tied bodysuit and whatever.
Yeah.
Also, I saw on TikTok someone was like, what is one thing in the movies that you once read and that now you can't unsee? And the one I thought about immediately was like Chekhov's gun,
Yeah.
you know, because that's pretty obvious, but that's not exactly in movies, it's in everything.
Yeah.
But it's fun when you once you learn how to, you know, you just see a thing and you're like, okay, this is gonna be important. It's fun to do that. But one girl said that females, you know, like action movies, they always fight with their thighs, and that
Oh
is
my-
so true. That even when and she said that sometimes, and it's super apparent. If you want to see this, then Google any video of Natasha Romanoff from Marvel. And because she said that, yeah, sure, they sometimes like, you know, do a few punches or a few kicks.
Oh my god, that's
but
so
their
true.
finishing
I've never
move-
noticed that.
Their finishing move is always with their thighs. And it's literally, I just put on the
That's
first...
so awful.
I put on the first clip that I just Googled it. And it was a clip of, I think, Natasha Romanoff fighting with Bucky Barnes in Civil War. And she was like fighting with him, you know, just kicking, punching. But then, towards the end of the fight, she just kind of like, if that was her legs, she just kind of had her legs around his throat, something like that, and like
Oh my
she threw him to the
God.
ground. And I was like, that's so true. Their finishing
That's
move is
so
always
brainwashing, though.
No,
That's like
yeah.
brainwashing an entire, like, I don't know, community.
It's scary. It's
Yeah, it's scary. And then people wonder why Marvel fans, especially boys, are just like that.
I hate
That's why they're like that.
I hate
That's exactly
Marvel fans. Boys, they're the worst part of the fandom. Nobody gatekeep like them. Gatekeeps, what the fuck? Nobody does it.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing. You just mention it once. You're like, oh yeah, I like Marvel. And they're like, either like, oh yeah, you like it because the actors are hot, don't you? And I'm like, yes, they are, but I also like the plot. Or,
your opinions just don't matter.
yeah, your opinions don't matter. Or, you like Marvel? Okay, then tell me, what was the first thing Captain America said in the first movie? Come on, go ahead. You don't know? Oh, and what was the first drink he drank? Where was it? Which minute of the movie? And I'm like, dude, I watch these movies and think about them. I don't write down everything.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, did you read any of the comics?
Yeah.
Dude, there's like 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
So I always just say, whenever I write it on like internet, whatever, I just always say I'm the MCU fan. So cinematic universe, so get away from me with that comics shit. I didn't read them. Don't sue me, what the fuck, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think it's exactly the same with like gaming community
Yeah.
and gamers. It's like
Gamer
this,
girls.
Yeah, because like when you're a girl and you're gaming, I guess, then you're just like seen as, I don't know, someone who just doesn't know anything and can't do anything. And even though you like played a specific game for a number of years, you're still not going to be taken seriously. And yeah, I just think that's a big problem. And also I have like this whole thing with my laptop breaking.
Yeah.
And my laptop broke in like the beginning of January and I still don't have it. It's still not repaired because I have so much problems with people who, like technicians who are supposed to just fix it and take my money and fix it, and all of them, like I met 4 at this point, 4 different people who were supposed to just fucking fix it, and they were all sexist and just looked down on me and just made like this awful fucking disgusting jokes, and like didn't like take me seriously at all, even though the only thing I wanted was to fix my laptop. Come on. And they just charged me a lot more than they would, for example, my mom's partner, who like went there before me, and he had absolutely no problems, and I had so many so many, and they didn't fix it until now. Like,
That's so
it's still not fixed.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like when you said in the gaming community, I feel like, because I'm not a big gamer, but I have a few friends, like even you, that are, and I feel like what a lot of like my girlfriends always tell me is that men always think that when a woman is playing, what the fuck, she's playing for a man, you know,
Yeah.
because she wants to impress someone, or because
Or she's
she
a
wants to
pick-me
be,
girl.
or she's a pick me girl, she wants to be one of the boys. When girls also enjoy video games, it's
Yeah.
not just for you.
Yeah, and like men feel so superior, and they
Yeah.
just take girls' skills for granted, and oftentimes when there's like even one girl in the voice chat, someone is going to trash talk her even if she's good at the game, just because
Yeah.
she's a girl, she has
They
a
also-
higher voice or something
They
like that.
treat games like it's such a fucking serious business. Like, I remember, like,
True.
I was once talking to a boy, and he asked me kind of like, oh, do you play computer games? What do you play? And because I mentioned something about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I mostly play, like, I don't know, Life is Strange, The Sims. I'm not like I'm not like a big gamer. And he was like, oh, so you don't really play games? That's such a girl's game. And I'm like, dude, I'm playing this because it's fun. I'm not like,
Yeah.
what's your problem?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't like games where you have to like shoot things or
Yeah.
shoot people, because I'm not very good at them, and I don't like them. But I like games that have like a plot to it, and you like it
Yeah.
plays out in front of your eyes. Like, I love Oxenfree. That's like one of my favorite games. I love Life is Strange, because like there is a plot and there is a story, and I like that a lot. And it's interactive, you can make choices and shit like this, and you can also like think about all of the philosophical stuff that is happening there. And that's still a game. It's a different kind of game, but it's still a game. It's not a CSGO, but like CSGO is boring. So
I don't get how guys can play like, you
or
know,
Valorant.
10 hours.
I hate it. It's so boring.
How can
I don't
guys
get it at
play
all.
for like 10 hours of like, I don't know, Call of Duty or whatever? We just go around shooting people for 10 hours?
And then shame me for playing Life is Strange? Come on.
Also, games are not that serious, let's
Yeah.
be honest. I mean, of course you can make a career out of them and they can be fun, but you don't have to be the best to play them. I hate when
Yeah.
people gatekeep things like
It's
this.
just
Like
entertainment.
games,
It's just entertainment.
they're literally called games. They're for
Yeah.
your fun. And
Yeah.
people are like, if you're not the best at them, then like, why the fuck are you even playing? Because I want to.
Because I want
What's-
to. It's entertaining.
What's your problem?
It's entertaining. Like, I don't have to make a career out of this. I just want to, like, I don't know, do something.
Not everybody wants to start in like, I don't know, championships, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just wanna make a little family in The Sims and play with them. And
And build a house.
what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
It's
and also
fun.
I think there is a lot of things wrong with like calling girls pick me girls. Like, I think that's just like another thing, just like shaming teenager girls or like young girls for liking something, for having an interest basically, because we've seen it like playing over the years, the same exact fucking thing, because time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
And like we had directioners, and we had like believers, and we had alternative girls, and we had all of that, and now we have pick me girls, and it's still the same thing, just shaming girls for doing
It
something.
was, you know, it was funny at the beginning because
Yeah.
when people were making fun of the like real pick-me girls, it is funny sometimes because those girls are awful and they usually bring other girls down.
Yeah.
But people got so like over dramatic about
Yeah.
it. Like I once saw a girl saying that calling a pick me girl someone who just said that, I don't know, that they went to McDonald's, I think, and got a salad because they were on a diet, and she was like, "Oh, such a pick me girl."
Like,
No,
no,
she just wanted a salad.
Some people want to eat salads. I know
Some
it
people
may be
also-
shocking to you, but
Or like losing weight is not a pick me girl thing. It's
Yeah.
a thing of someone who wants to lose weight. Let's not like,
that's crazy. Oh my god.
you know, or like not every time a girl has a few guy friends, it means that, oh, she's such a pick me girl.
Yeah.
Maybe she just likes guys also. What's
Oh my god.
that's a crazy concept, I know. Once she start talking about how I don't become friends with girls because there's so much drama, that's where the problem begins.
Yeah.
Also, guys are also just
So
as much
dramatic.
drama.
So dramatic.
They're just sure.
Just
Like girls are more sneaky about it.
Generalizing
Yeah.
is like a bad thing when it comes to like anyone.
Yeah, that's. But I also, for example, when you think about it, I'm pretty sure because I've never been in like an all guys group. I've been in groups when there are guys and girls, of course, but I've never been in an all guys group.
You have never been one of the boys.
I've never been one of the boys. I'm not really that sad about it because like it sounds awful.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious that the boys
have
would
to
pick
try
each other
so
after
hard.
you. Yeah. Like it's obvious that if you have 5 boys and then
Yeah.
you, they're always gonna have each other's back and not yours
Yeah.
in a fight or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just I don't get it. And also I hate like generalizing like, oh, I hate having guy friends or girlfriends because it's maybe you just hate the ones you
It
met.
depends. Yeah, it depends on the person.
Of course,
Because
because there are,
everyone's
I
situation
have
is
a lot
different.
of like girlfriends who are amazing, and I have a lot of guy friends who are amazing. But there are also girls that I hate and guys that I hate, and it's
Yeah.
what's the difference? It's literally, you know,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. True.
I just the pick me girl thing is really bothering me.
Yeah.
The like fake pick me girl thing because it's. And it's as you said, most of the like main characters in stories are I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
God, the fun fiction. I put my hair up in a messy bun, threw my
Went
t-shirt,
downstairs to just
AC/DC t-shirt
Get
on.
to know that my mom sold me
To One
One
Direction.
Direction.
I saw my friends sent me a video on TikTok when it was like what it looks like from the other side, and it was just Harry being like, okay, Zayn, Niall, guys, I bought us a girl. Her mom was broke, so I just bought her. And it's like,
They're so desperate, almost as James Charles.
smooth segue because we were actually we were supposed to talk about drama, but we got a bit carried away. We were supposed to talk about James Charles and like David Dobrik shit. We're late to it, of course we are.
Yeah.
But
we're
it's
always
still
late to things, but we're very much
very much into
yeah,
the whole
we
situation.
followed the topic for many
Yeah.
years, I think. I am a hardcore YouTube stan. Like when I hyperfixate on things, it's like 90% of the time it's someone on YouTube. Just
True.
because I don't know, it do be like that, I guess.
I think it's like easy access because you know
Yeah.
you can always watch YouTube and it's
Yeah, and it's like so much content. It's so much content. Like, right now I think I'm like my worst hyperfixation of all time. Just because it's Twitch, so like you have much more content than you have on YouTube.
When you sent me, or I don't think you sent me, I think you put it on like Instagram, but the checklist of what you have to watch, and I was like,
Oh,
oh
it was
my
on
God.
Twitter.
Baby,
Yeah, and it
you're
was
gonna
like
die.
only I was at my significant other's house and I couldn't watch streams for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and half of a Saturday, and I had like 10 full-on streams, like 2 hours per one stream, and I caught it all up like in 2 days. So it's a problem by now.
You
It's a problem
terrify
by
me
now.
sometimes with that. When I realize how much content there is,
Yeah, it's like 8
And
to
I'm-
10 hours daily.
yeah, dude, that's scary. That's kinda
Yeah,
scary.
like that's all I do in my free time.
Yeah, especially with your fear of missing out.
Yeah, it's the worst in this fandom.
yeah.
So if you don't know, I am hyperfixating currently on Minecraft YouTubers. And it's a lot of them. Like I can't just watch one. I need to watch 8 of them.
Yeah, it started
just to
out cute
feel
and
like I
nice.
know everything.
It
I need
started
to know.
so cute at the beginning
Yeah.
because they were like fixating on like a few of them and
Yeah.
tweeting about them, and it was so cute. And
Yeah,
then,
there was like 3 of them,
yeah, and then it's like I have 10 hours of content to catch up on, and I'm like, dude, you have Matura this
no, I
year,
don't.
so
No, I don't.
yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Saying it doesn't
Oh.
exist won't make it disappear.
No, it will. You'll see.
Yeah.
Manifesting.
Yeah, universe will give you just it will
Yeah.
cancel. They will cancel Matura
And
and
the
just say
coronavirus, you never know.
the pandemic.
The pandemic. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, James Charles.
James Charles.
James Charles.
Yeah.
I'm so disgusted by him.
Yeah.
This-
I remember like a week ago we still didn't know what to think about it.
yeah, and
Because I started watching James in like 2017, I think. Because that's when he got big because of like Jeffree Star
yeah.
and like Shane Dawson.
Two
who
great
we all
people, by the
love
way.
and appreciate in this household. Don't take it out of context, please. And yeah, so I started watching him in like 2017. He just seemed like a nice guy, like a nice. I don't know how old was he then, like 18 years old,
because
maybe
I
17.
think he wasn't that
Because-
rich back then, and he
Yeah.
felt more grounded than
Yeah,
most
because
of
he's
the...
like from New York or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he just started very young and he like blew up overnight. He's like, I think he's a good example of just blowing up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because just like, I think his photos, like prom photos blew up or something like that. And Zendaya retweeted it or someone like shared it on Instagram. And then he was the first boy on the cover of the Cover Girl
Yeah.
magazine, and it just happened really
Because
fast.
at the beginning, I feel like actually he deserved it when it comes to like the talent, because he's really talented.
Yeah, and
His
he
makeup
like
skills are great.
and he started many new trends.
Yeah.
In like makeup. Not that I know anything about makeup, but from what I've
Same.
seen.
But I feel like a lot of makeup YouTubers, like, I don't know, Tati, or like the, oh my god, what's the one that sold the multi lipsticks?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Jaclyn Hill.
Oh, Jaclyn Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen them do anything interesting makeup wise. They just do
Yeah,
like a
they were very
basic...
much in that, or like oh my god, or like Nikki tutorials.
Yeah.
I think
Although
they're just very.
Nikki does like kind of more basic makeup, but they're so pretty.
Yeah.
She's so good at them.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's like very much 2016, 2017 kind of makeup, that it's still like the same.
Absolutely.
And like there's no change in like the basics of how to do it. And I feel like James showed like to the bigger audience like many new things, and he more like took it in the artsy way, and just that it makeup is art after all.
Yeah, and that was great. And when the first situation happened, the one with Tati and all that, it was the drama was so weird, because I never watched him that much. Like, I knew who he was, of course. From time to time I watched his videos, but I was never that into him. But when the Tati thing happened, at the beginning I feel like I was like everybody. At the beginning I was very much like, oh, Tati.
Yeah.
And then once James showed the receipts, I was like, oh, okay, then I'm sorry, I guess James.
Yeah.
And back then I thought that he was like a cool guy and that he was like fine, but now, knowing what we know now, I'm wondering if maybe Tati wasn't that off after all.
I think that she just had like the disadvantage that absolutely no one had her side and no one had her back in like the community, and James had like Shane and stuff, like he had recognition, he had like all of these YouTubers that he collabed with and stuff like that he was just like very well known outside of like the cancel culture internet, like deep internet thing, and like normal like casual people didn't really know what was happening, and that's okay because no one is that much into internet drama as we are, I guess. And but yeah, I got like that situation was like the first spark of something is off about him, and that was also the moment that I unsubscribed from him, and I didn't really subscribe to him for like another year or year and a half, because I just was like over him, I guess, and the whole situation was very messy, and I didn't really want to have anyone's back until I know like for sure who's right and who's wrong. And yeah, and also like Jeffree Star was very much in that drama for some reason.
He's into every drama. He just kind of injects himself.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a Scorpio, so
he scares me.
Yeah, he even looks like a snake.
That's so true.
That looks like a
so
snake.
true.
But yeah, we're not here to shame for
And
how he looks like.
Yeah, but he's scarily rich. Like,
yeah,
it's terrifying when he... Because I watched the first of the documentaries with Shane, because the other one that had like 8 parts, I don't have time for that. But like I watched the first one, the 3-part one, and I actually liked it back then. And,
yeah,
but
I think
remember...
that also jumping on like
Yeah.
hate bandwagon of hating like Shane documentaries is also like very the internet thing to do, because everyone preached it back then, and now everyone is like, oh my god, like why did we watch that? It's so bad. And it's not bad. It's not bad at all. You're just like you have a different point of view now. And you can't just be like, oh, it was so bad. I don't know why we all watched that. It was so bad. I have never liked it, because it is well done, and it is good, and it is entertaining.
But I feel like it was definitely a downfall of them, because I remember I watched the...
Like the last one was very like kind of sparked the conversation, I feel.
I watched the Tana one. That was the first one I watched, and that was the first one that really got me, let's say, kind of more into Shane's content, because I didn't watch him before. And I remember I was like on holidays, and it was so interesting. And then the Jeffree one was really well done. I think the problems began with the Jake Paul one, because it was so long and overdrawn, and the sociopath thing was just very weird.
Yeah, and it was all very much like wanted to clear out his image when his image should have never been cleaned out.
I read someone say that they treated sociopaths as, you know, some kind of mystical monsters.
Yeah.
And it's like
a mental illness, like another,
exactly like psychopathy or sociopathy. It's not bad inherently. It's just, of course, a lot of people
your brain just wired differently.
Yeah, it's exactly. Of course, some people who have it, like, I don't know, I think Ted Bundy was a sociopath or a psychopath, one of those. I don't remember which one. But like, of course, some of them, because it's easier for them, of course it is, to like, when you have no empathy, it's easier to like kill people or whatever. Support. Yeah, but it's not like if you are a psychopath, then 100% you're gonna kill people. Like, of course not. It's like saying if you're depressed, then 100% you're gonna kill yourself. That's not how it works, though. That's not how mental illness works. But so yeah, and then the other documentary about doing the palette. I think I watched like half of the first episode, and it was really boring and so long.
Yeah.
And it was just to sell the palette, which...
Yeah, wasn't produced well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, this whole James thing, James Charles thing happened. And then, I was like, I didn't watch his content a lot, but then like he kind of blew up on TikTok, and TikTok started like taking his side, and just he kind of, I guess, tangled his way out of the situation. And TikTok is like very convincing. It has like way too much power. Because if someone likes you on TikTok, then basically your reputation is like...
I mean, Charli D'Amelio.
Yeah.
Charli and Dixie, like, they're doing so much shit lately.
Yeah, and they're invincible.
Exactly.
They're literally invisible. And I think the same was with David Dobrik's situation, because he stopped filming when the quarantine happened, and then he jumped over to TikTok, and then he started like doing giveaways and giving away his Teslas and shit like that on TikTok, and that also gave him like the power and this kind of invincibility. Like, you can't touch him because like the audience is like very much convinced that he's a good human being. That's
true. Although TikTok, that's kind of again off topic, but like what annoys me about TikTok is how much money those people make. Because of course, when you're famous, you never make, the money you make is never like equivalent to what you should make. Because of course, playing in a movie is not worth, your work there is not worth the millions that you get. But singing or acting in movies, in theater, dancing, stuff like that gets you famous, even making YouTube videos, of course it's not worth as much as you're making, but it is hard. It's not easy, and not everybody could do it. Like singing for 3 hours on on stage and being charismatic enough. Yeah, being charismatic enough to get people to follow you, or like acting. Acting is also not that easy. Editing the hours of footage on YouTube, of course, but like on TikTok, they're just, of course not all people, but like Charlie, she's just doing very easy dances. If she was I know she's a real dancer, but if she did like real dances that everybody could do, then go off, sis. But there are dances that even I can do, and I cannot dance for the life of me.
I think that even the better example of it is Addison Rae.
Oh yeah, she's so stiff. Or Dixie.
Yeah.
Dixie doesn't even dance.
Yeah, Dixie is famous because of Charlie.
Yeah, and then now she's famous because she's with like Noah Beck, who's...
I don't know who that is, to be completely
He's one
honest.
of the boys who just, goes shirtless and is like, ugh. He has such a huge neck, it's weird. But that's... Hey, mamas.
Hey, mamas. Yeah, that's him.
And why do they live in like mansions in LA?
Yeah, and also like Ethan, I don't know if you watched like A3 podcast about James, but
the live with Ela?
Yeah,
I think I did.
But yeah, he said that or the one before, I'm not sure, but he said that like they have to have someone on the inside because his TikToks are being deleted like almost immediately. Same with Trisha, and it's just, I don't know, it's a lot because you can't really like do anything because TikTok is going to shut you out.
TikTok has such fucked up preferences because they like delete videos about James Charles in a matter of seconds. But I told you, I think I sent it to you when I found that video of a girl. Literally, I found a video of a girl who was literally saying she was gonna become a murderer, and I'm not even like exaggerating.
Or dead animals.
Yeah,
that's
but like,
also, like
it was a video with this song like Big Brother, I'm just like you. That people used to be like, oh, I want to be like my idol, and she put in photos of famous
Ted Bundy.
Yes, of like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, Robert Ramirez, all those people, and then the caption was like, oh, in just a few years, and people in the comments were like, oh, same, and I'm like,
what do you mean same?
What do you mean? You want to be a murderer?
But also, I don't know. It's just so weird because there's also this situation with Hawk. She's like a TikToker, and basically on TikTok she...
Sorry, it was my sister.
On TikTok she basically promotes her OnlyFans. But like she is not doing like anything that could even I don't know, not pass the community guidelines or shit like that. She's not doing anything like that, but she just talks about her work. What is she doing as a sex worker and stuff like that. And she basically her account got banned like this week because she's promoting her OnlyFans, and that is not suitable for children audience. And on her other like backup account, she was talking about, well, you want to protect the children on this app, but also you're in the ads you're promoting like dating apps that are basically you have to be over 18 to use them, and there's so many of those ads. And also you're promoting content creators like James Charles or David Dobrik, who are like predators basically. Well, David Dobrik is not essentially a predator, but he is like...
He allowed an awful fucking situation. Yeah. And it's also because I feel like I hate when people like censor sex workers.
Yeah. Because
it's work. Like that. It is work. Unless if it's consensual, if it's not someone was forced to do it, then it's absolutely okay. It's a work. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead.
Yeah.
And you should be allowed to talk about it. Because I feel like also talking about it can help even prevent someone from getting into it kind of accidentally.
Yeah.
and being used and abused. Like even when there was a story with Mia Khalifa, who's now talking about how she was forced to do those porn videos, and that's what she's known as. And I can't even imagine how hurtful that must be when she knows that a lot of people know her from that thing that she was forced to do that she regrets.
And there's like this misconception that she like acted in thousands of those videos.
Yeah.
And that's not true. She like did maybe 4, maybe 5, and they just happened to blow up, I guess, and be famous for some reason and just well received. And that's kind of like the luck she had, the luck.
Yeah,
All of it.
it's disgusting that they're just silencing, instead of silencing James Charles, they're promoting him but silencing people like that because he's James Charles and people love
and
him
also
and get the money.
Mia Khalifa situation is also like the epitome of how misogyny works, I feel like, because people were people were like, well, she earned a lot of money for it, she earned like $1 million, so she should be happy that she did it, and it was consensual because she like signed those papers. But no one is looking at it like she was literally a child. She was 18, like legally an adult, but I am 18 and I don't feel like a fucking adult. So she was basically a child. She was 18, she had no idea how life works, she was groomed into doing this, and it was like not her choice at all, because she was manipulated in doing that by men who are in like the better position, like in the position of power.
Also, the perfect example is the Kim Kardashian sex tape, because it was, of course, it turned out to be good for her, but at the beginning, you know, it was a scandal for her. But do you even remember who was the guy?
Yeah.
It literally, I have no idea.
I don't know.
But everybody knows that Kim K had a leaked sex tape because she was the girl. And I hate this culture. I just hate this culture of like, when a girl is like, oh, I slept with, I don't know, 5 guys last weekend. She's a slut, she's awful. But when a guy slept with 5 girls, then, oh, good for you, you're a player. How was it? And it's, if you like sex, then go have sex. Absolutely nothing bad in that. But like, don't shame other people if you're, or people who, you know, are waiting until marriage and then they shame people who aren't.
Yeah, it's like a preference. You can't shame people for having a preference.
Exactly. If you want to, then good for you. Yeah. But if you don't, then also good for you.
But just don't shame other people for it.
Exactly. Sex is absolutely okay if you're of age and it's consensual. Then everything is perfect. And of course there are situations that are a bit weird, like if you have an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old. A bit weird, but if it's...
Woody Allen situation! This is where I come in. I wanted to talk about Woody Allen so much because I watched this documentary. It's called Allen v. Farrow, I'm pretty sure, and it just talks about the situation of Woody Allen, and I had no idea that any of this was happening, and absolutely no one talks about it. I mean, maybe now more people talk about it because of the documentary. It's on HBO, you can always watch it if you want to. I recommend it, but it basically talks about how Woody Allen is a literal pedophile, and no one is doing anything about it just because of how powerful he is, and because of his position in Hollywood, and because he made like so many amazing movies. But
what
like
movies did Woody Allen make? Because of course I know who he is, but like
I don't know actually. He made like Annie Hall, I think it's called. He made like all of those movies that talk about someone having a romance in Paris at midnight. You know, so he had like one movie with Timothée Chalamet, and that was the moment I knew.
I heard about it because that was the movie with Timothy and Selena Gomez, wasn't it? Because I used to really dislike Selena Gomez, just because I still a little bit stand by that. It was of course in a part like internalized misogyny, but also she's not good enough of a singer to be a singer, and that was like my problem with her. So I was following a few of like the bad updates Selena account, you know, the kind of hate accounts. And they talked about how she was making a movie with Woody Allen and saying that, and people were, you know, like, why are you doing this with her?
That she did that. That's actually so out of character.
Exactly. And people were asking her, like, you know, don't you feel a little bit icky with that? Yeah, and she was like, oh, it's not proven, so I...
What do you mean it's not proven? Like, I don't know. Here comes, like, this... There should be, like, people should think that the victim is always right. No matter what. And it shouldn't be like this. Someone that did the bad thing is not guilty until proven guilty. It should be that the victim is right until proven guilty.
Because I heard someone say it in one of those, like, victim blaming kind of situations, that would you rather defend a liar or would you rather defend a rapist or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, if you don't know about the Woody Allen situation, and I didn't know about that, and it kind of shocks me that it's so, like, hidden and absolutely no one knows about it. But basically Woody Allen was, like, the partner for many years of Mia Farrow. She's an amazing actress. She acted, for example, in Rosemary's Child. And yeah, she basically, like, was his partner for many years. And she had, like, Mia Farrow has many children, like her own and also adopted. And I think now she has, like, 14 of them, I'm pretty sure.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. But she had, like, 7 when she met Woody Allen. And Woody Allen, from the start, was like, well, I don't want to have anything to do with children. And just like we can hang out, we can meet up, we can be, like, partners, I can be your boyfriend or shit like that, but I don't want to have anything to do with children. I don't like children, I just don't want to. And over the years, the situation low-key changed because, like, he met some of them, they started hanging out more with the children, not only alone, and, like, he started being sort of a father figure for them, because they were mostly adopted or they were, like, from the previous relationships. And yeah, he started being, like, this father figure to them. And yeah, basically he raped, oh my god, it's a complicated situation, but Mia Farrow adopted a girl because she wanted to have a child with Woody, but he didn't want to be, like, the official father.
Yeah.
He was just like, well, I can conceive it if you want to. But then they couldn't really, she couldn't really get pregnant, so she was like, okay, I'm going to adopt a child. Do you want to have, like, anything to do with it? Like, do you have a preference or something like that? And he was like, well, I still don't want to have anything to do with it, but if it was a blonde girl, I would be very happy. So she adopted a blonde girl. Her name is Dylan, and Woody started having, like, this really weirdly close relationship with her. He, like, started ignoring all of the other children. His all attention was on Dylan, and everyone around started being like, well, that's kind of weird, but he had never had this contact with children, so maybe that's how he shows his affection or something like that. But then it started being progressively more and more weird, to the point where, like, in 1992, I think, he raped Dylan. Dylan was 7 then, I think.
7?
7, yeah.
That's...
Yeah, and he raped her. And this... oh my god! Yeah, and this situation came out because Dylan was, like... very hurt, basically. She was a 7-year-old girl.
Of course she was.
And she, like, told... also people around noticed that they, like, disappeared for, like, 20 minutes or something like that. So she told Mia what happened, and that Dad took her upstairs to the attic, and that's when it happened. And she also told Dad he had touched her many times before, in, like, this way, and yeah, and he told her that it's their secret or something like that. And Mia, of course, didn't really want to believe that because it's Woody Allen. It's like, it's not like she didn't believe it, but she didn't want to believe that it's true. But she took Dylan to the doctor, and she talked with and the doctor had to like go to the police with it, because that's the protocol. That's something that you have to do, and that's how the police got to know, and that's how the public got to know. And Woody was basically very angry and started manipulating Mia.
yeah.
One thing that started manipulating Mia. And also the situation before that, you may not know, but Woody Allen is basically now married to Mia's child, to Suni. When he met Suni, that girl was 14 years old. And he started seeing her, like dating her basically, and cheating on Mia with her when she was 17, when she was a senior in high school. Although his official response is that he started dating her when she was in college, and I don't think that makes it any better, actually. It's like only a year, and you met her when she was 14, you fucking weirdo. So, and now he's married to her, and I feel like, and also Suni was like the most traumatized child out of all of them, because she was adopted at the later age, and she was basically abandoned by her mother, and she lived on the streets for several years, or like months, I don't remember.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, so she was also like very antisocial, and she couldn't really speak English that well. She had to learn it, and she had never had like this contact with she had never had a boyfriend before Woody and stuff like that. So Woody basically very much groomed her into believing that it's true. And now Suni is like 30, I think, and they're still married, and they have like kids together. Oh my god, it gives me the ick, because it's so like pedophile. It's clearly a pedophile, and he like told this story to the public. He painted Mia as a villain, of course, and nobody believes Mia because she's a woman and she's a victim, and no one believes women and victims.
Also, I feel like it's another situation when you should separate the artist from the art, in a sense of, because people are defending Woody because they like his art.
Yeah, and
they wouldn't have defended him if it was someone else.
Yeah.
Because they grew up watching his movies, so fucking what?
Yeah.
You can still enjoy the movies, but at the same time, it's not one or the other.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are always saying, oh, you can't separate the art from the artist. But I feel like it's sometimes better, because if you can either just say that Woody Allen is a saint because you love his movies, or still watch his movies, but recognize that he's fucking disgusting, then sure, watch his movies, like his movies, but don't defend him because he made my favorite movie, so he can't be that bad. Like, there's no correlation there.
Yeah.
You can make great movies and be a shitty person. You can write great books and be a shitty person, J.K. Rowling. You can be good at one thing and be like amazing, whatever, but still be a shitty human being.
Yeah, true. And just like that's kind of the moment when I stopped watching the documentary, because it was so just unnerving to me to see Woody Allen like tell media whatever he wants to tell media, and just doing whatever he wants, and Mia staying silent because she knew back then that no one is going to believe her, and she really wanted to keep this thing private because it became public like by accident,
and
basically.
Then people say that women are treated same as men. Sure, they are, absolutely.
Yeah, and she also like has this position of power. She is a very famous actress, and she's very successful, and she played in like exclusively in Woody's movies for like 10 plus years. So like she is also like in this powerful position, but when you have her and you have Woody Allen, of course you're going to believe Woody Allen for some fucking reason. Because he's, I guess, more privileged than Mia. And it's just all of that. And Woody started painting this picture that Mia is telling her kids that they need to lie. And she's telling the kids this story. And also the clinic that was supposed to be like unbiased and was supposed to give this diagnosis if Dylan is telling the truth or not. They basically got like they were very biased, and Woody paid them so some money, and they just put out the statement that Dylan was influenced by Mia.
That's but also again, it's as it is in many of the situations, even putting the whole believe the victim aside, which absolutely you should, but like putting that aside, what would she have to gain? People, it's not like this, it's because in the world of, let's say, real famous people, it doesn't work like on the internet, where drama is putting you even in a better position often. Like you can see with Trisha Paytas.
Yeah.
The drama is skyrocketing her.
Yeah.
But in the world of real celebrities, it's not like that. It's not like because of this drama, Mia is getting more famous. It's actually the opposite. She's losing fame. She's losing credibility, even though she shouldn't. She's being painted as the villain. I'm sure she's also
her
receiving...
kids get harassed.
Her kids get harassed. She gets harassed.
And like she, like you need to like paint this picture of a woman who currently has 14 children, like half of them adopted. Like she loves her children like more than anything in the world.
Of
like
course.
she wouldn't have done any of that if she didn't like have this big heart for them and just wanted them to have like the best life. Because basically she started adopting them during or after Vietnam War because there were like so many information about kids getting abandoned because of the war and stuff like that, so she wanted to help them and adopt them and give them like the better life. So you have to understand that this whole situation is not doing anything good for her, and she has been struggling with it, and her whole family has been struggling with it since 1992, and it's 2020 fucking one.
It's
30
scary.
years later.
Also, as you
and
said,
it's still
you said that the clinic said that Dylan lied because she was influenced by Mia. Yeah, that's her name.
yeah.
Then, but like, what would Mia gain from Dylan telling people that Woody raped her?
Yeah, because they were all telling the story that Mia was angry at Woody for cheating on her with her child, with Suni. But also,
let's look at why that's disgusting.
yeah.
You have the facts right in front of your
Yeah.
face. I told you before we started filming that I absolutely hate. It's so disgusting to me when someone knew a person as a child and then later just got with them. And I feel like even in pop culture it's painted as something normal. Like I brought up the example of Friends, where you have like Monica with this, I don't know, Richard or whatever his name was, guy, and it was said that he was her parents' friend, and that she knew him since she was like a little child, whatever, and then they got together. It's just so disgusting to me, because you see someone, it's not even just the age gap, because just the age gap, whatever, you do you, but if you know someone as a kid, you're like the uncle.
Yeah.
Even if you're not biologically related, you're like the uncle who watched them grow up, and you carried them when they were super little, or even not that little, even when they were like 14.
Yeah.
They were kind of like a daughter figure in a way. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you obviously, especially in the Woody situation, since it was pretty close together, it wasn't like they met when she was 1 year old and then when she was 30.
Yeah.
But it was close together, so he must have looked at her when she was
This
like 14.
way.
He must have looked at her as, oh, she's so hot, she's whatever, and she was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And you just shouldn't.
And also everyone around them like saw the hints, saw how he treated Dylan. That was a little kid. She was adopted when she was like, she had less than a year. So like, child, a literal like
exactly,
newborn.
and nobody like.
And like
Did anything?
many critics like told their like point of view during this documentary, and they said that in almost every single one Woody Allen's movie there is like this huge age gap between main characters, because Woody Allen like mostly makes like romance movies. So like in almost every single one of them there is this main character that is like 30, 40, 50, 60, and there is this love interest that is 16, 17, 18. not even 20 something, 16, 17, 18. There's this whole movie called Manhattan that is about like this huge age gap between like 40 years old man and a 17 years old girl. It's the whole point of the movie. So like this movie critics said that basically he groomed the whole generation by
Yeah.
normalizing this situation. And it's the same thing with David Dobrik.
True. The normal, like, it's... I've always had a problem with age gaps in... that are not even that large, because whatever, but ones that start so early.
Yeah.
I feel like when someone hits, let's say, let's set date is, I don't know, 25.
Yeah.
Then if you want to be with an 80-year-old, be with an 80-year-old.
Because it's
But
fully
if-
your decision.
yeah.
You're like
And
a full-on adult.
You've been an adult for long enough, for like 7 years by then, for long enough to have
Fully develop.
develop, know when you're being manipulated sometimes, like be more able to, recognize it.
Yeah.
But when you're even 18 or like 20 or
Yeah,
even
like,
younger, 16,
I am 18
17.
and I don't know shit. Like, I don't know
Like,
shit.
yeah, you're an adult on paper, but you don't have the experience of an adult yet. You still have the experience of being like a child and a teenager.
Yeah.
So if someone approached you right now like a 60-year-old man and was trying to get with you,
Yeah.
that would be fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Because even when you're attracted to someone who's just hit 18, you're still looking at them it's kind of like you would be attracted to a child, because it's not like you magically change when you hit 18.
Yeah.
You're still not fully developed. So if you want to be with someone that young, being so much older, there is a problem there.
Yeah.
And it's not just that you saw the person and went, oh, they're perfect for me. No, you saw their age and you thought, oh, they're perfect for me because they're young and pretty.
Yeah, and I think that's also so normalized. And like, I don't know, pop culture basically, because you see like these old creepy men that are like the main characters, or like are so badass, and just they look at like these girls, like mostly 18 because it's legal. But I'm pretty sure that the script writers had like someone younger in mind, like 16 or 17. And you just see like in basically every 90s movie.
True. Also, that's kind of another topic, but it just... I wanted to talk about it. And it's because you said about choosing the actors that are 18 just for legal reasons. I hate when shows do that, when they choose... because choosing an adult actor to play a teenager is fine in a sense of, if you do this, because it's just easier because they don't have school and they can really commit to you, and it's probably legally easier. I have no idea about it, but it surely is. And I get that. And also they don't change that much as people who are developing. So I get that, it's fine. But if you're choosing an adult actor mostly because you want to sexualize them...
Oh yeah,
Riverdale?
That's a problem.
Riverdale, they like pole dancing, which they couldn't do. And it's a bit more okay, let's say, when it's to show some point, like in Euphoria, which is another problem. Euphoria should have taken place in college, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
Euphoria is also a big problem.
True, but I can let
I
it...
have a strong
I can let it pass
opinion.
there, because it's, of course, the characters are sexualized, but it's on purpose, not to like please the viewers, but to show the sexualization that really happens in life. And of course they're still too young, but whatever. But in shows like Riverdale, it's not to show the problems, it's just we want to see an actress during a pole dance in her underwear, and we couldn't do that if she was 16. So what we're gonna do instead is choose someone who's an adult and make them do it, because it's legal then. Or like those overdrawn sex scenes.
Yeah.
I feel like sex scenes are also another problem, because they
Yeah.
never... Unless the plot calls for it, they shouldn't be as long as they are. I could see them being long in a movie if you're making, I don't know, a movie about a nymphomaniac who has a problem holding down a man, and it's a big emotional moment that she's finally having like long sex with one and not just calling it quits. Sure, whatever. I know that's stupid, but it's just the first thing that came to my mind. But if it's just a normal sex scene that sure, show that they have sex because it can be important, but it doesn't need to be 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Just show the beginning and cut it.
Yeah.
It's, if someone wants to watch porn,
They can watch
Pornhub.
porn.
Don't
go on Pornhub. Don't go. It's not ethical. Don't go on Pornhub.
Yeah.
Find other places. You can go on Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah,
No.
but I remember thinking about it back when I was watching Riverdale before it got super fucked up. Did you see that there are aliens now there?
No. I did not see that.
I was on Twitter and someone posted a tweet like, "What do you think about the plot about Jughead and the aliens in the newest episode of Riverdale?" And I was like, "Oh, that's truly a joke." And then it wasn't. There are fucking aliens there.
Dude, I am so pissed at Netflix because shows like 13 Reasons Why or Riverdale get so much more seasons than they ever should. And TV series like Sense8, that I love with my whole heart, got cancelled after the second season because it was not like advertised good enough.
I mean,
And like Netflix doesn't put an effort to advertise
And it totally-
shows that are less known.
it totally ruins those series because Riverdale, the first season, it wasn't like a masterpiece, but it was
It was good. It was like, yeah,
It
it,
had
was
the-
interesting.
It was
something
interesting.
new.
It was something new, and it,
It
had
was
the feel
well
of a
done.
exactly. It had a feel of the comic, kind of.
Yeah.
It was because it was grounded in reality enough for you to believe it and get into the story, but it also, you could see that it was a bit fantastical in this like comicsy way. The characters were fun. It was the first season was fun.
Yeah.
Same with 13 Reasons Why. It was based
Yeah,
on a
the
book.
first season was okay.
The first season was cool. It was fun to watch the different relationships, especially when you've
Yeah.
read the book.
Yeah.
And it
yeah,
was a
true,
pretty
true,
good
true.
adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
But then when they're trying to and 13 Reasons Why, you can truly see it because it was based on a book. And the
Yeah.
book didn't have the second part because the girl fucking died. She was
Yeah.
dead. That was the
Yeah.
end.
Also, I feel like the book more focused on like what was happening and didn't focus on like having an opinion about the situation. And TV
that's-
series was all about having an opinion why she committed suicide and how it affected all the people, and it demonized mental illness and it demonized depression and it demonized basically everything. But the book, but like it was interesting to watch, to just like compare book with TV series.
Yeah, but then when they started making another season and like stretching plot
Oh
lines,
my god.
and it was just very
I didn't even watch
unnecessary.
like the first season. I should have stopped
watched-
earlier,
I-
but I didn't watch.
spoilers ahead, whatever. I watched the beginning of the fourth season only because I loved Justin's and Jessica's relationship. That was the best thing. And then I found out that Justin fucking dies. And I just didn't watch any episode after that. I was like, no, you're joking me. You're joking me. He just... Did you know about it?
No,
I'm sorry,
didn't
but-
know. I didn't see anything. But I don't care.
It's
I don't care.
literally...
I'm not going to
I
watch it
watched,
because
like-
it's so triggering. Like
I
during
watched-
the second season, got so triggering.
True.
for
But
some
also,
reason.
dude, I watched like 3 episodes of the last season.
Is it
And
last?
I was...
Is it
yeah,
last?
it's the
Oh,
last
thank
one.
God.
But I watched the like few episodes because mostly for Justin and Jessica, as I said, because they had some problems. Like, but I was like, oh, cute relationship, whatever. And then I saw a spoiler about like Justin dying because he got sick. He got like, I don't know, brain cancer or something, and he just fucking dies. And that's the end, and it's his funeral.
That's so
and it's-
Riverdale.
True. And he was killed off for like literally no reason,
Riverdale-esque.
just to give the you know, oh my god, my favorite character. Like,
Yeah.
sucks. It sucks. My dad came home, so we're gonna eat dinner.
Let's go.
I
Yeah,
think
it
we
was
have
very
to.
fun.
It was super
Very
fun.
fun.
We have to do it once again
Yeah.
sometime, and we're gonna edit it. It's gonna be beautiful. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
People who
we
were
had
not
fun.
watching, we had fun. We're absolutely doing this again.
Yeah.
Maybe with a
Surely.
more strict theme the next time because
Yeah,
we talked
rambled.
about
We just
drama for
rambled.
like maybe 15 minutes, and we've
It
been
was
recording
supposed
for...
to be all about
Yeah.
drama, but
So
yeah.
we're gonna have the name the next time,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be fun. So yeah.
Yeah.